Hi YouTube, it's been a long time. But today I'm going to Cyprus. I'm going to visit my friends in Cyprus. Surprise them, they don't know I'm coming. I love it. Anyway, I'll see you guys. I went to check in at the Turkish Airlines line. So when I got there, they took my ticket. They asked me, oh, what are you going for? I told them and everything. They said, okay, everything's all right. They checked my passport and they said, oh, do you have any bags to check in? I was like, yeah, I have this big box and my hand luggage. They're like, you didn't pay for the extra bag. You only paid for your hand luggage and your seat. I was like, say what? They're like, yeah, you have to pay £65 extra. I was like, it's fine. 65 pounds, it's fine, I'm gonna pay it. It's gonna be worth it at the end. I paid the 65 pounds and I was like, okay, fine, give me my seat. Next thing they said, oh, that flight is gonna be delayed. Do you want us to move you to another flight? They told me, oh, there might just be some things, you might not just get the full benefit of your flight. So I was like, it's fine, just put me on the next flight. So they put me on the next flight. Guess what the benefits were? I had no food. So literally, right, they served everyone, but they didn't serve me. I didn't eat on the flight. I got to Istanbul around 3 a.m. in the morning, I think. And my next flight was at 7 a.m. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just go and chill. So I went home, I just chilled and everything. I wasn't hungry at this point. So I was like, I'm not going to eat, it's fine and everything. I was waiting for my flight, looking at the board. Eventually, my flight number came up. So I went to where I was supposed to wait to be checked in, right? And then this lady comes to me from the aisle, from the checking point, and then she said, oh, can I have your passport, please? And then she calls my passport. She's like, oh, what are you going for? I told her. She's like, okay. And then she saw, guess what, guys? My passport was expiring in May, in 4 months. I didn't think to check that my passport was expiring in 4 months. She's like, okay, she'll confirm from her supervisor. So I was like, fine, cool. So she made a call and everything, and then it was time to start boarding, and then she called everybody. And then I was the first on the line, and I was like, oh, my passport, like, has it been sorted? Can I get on the flight now? She's like, no, sorry, can you move back? Fine. So I went to the back of the line, and then everybody boarded, and I was last person, and then she closed the aisle, and I was like, oh, I'm still here. And then she said, you're not flying today. The best thing I advise you to do is to go upstairs and book on that flight and go back to where you're coming from. What is going on? Hey! At this point, I was tired, I was hungry, I was frustrated. I was just like, my heart just dropped into my stomach. I was just like, what am I gonna do? I went to their aisle, like the customer service for this airline, and they said, oh, there's nothing we can do. You booked for the non-refundable, so there's nothing you can do. So I lost all that money. For my return ticket, for my flight to Cyprus, I lost everything. I refused to lose hope. I called my best friend, I was like, this is what's happening. She lost her mind. My best friend in the US, she lost her mind. She's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? While she was panicking, I was like, okay, fine, I just have to tell Juwon. So I called Juwon. I was like, Juwon, guess what? So it was like, I'm in Istanbul. She's like, yo, what? I'm like, I'm in Istanbul. I was gonna surprise you. She's like, oh my god. And it was like early hours of the morning in Cyprus. So she was panicking. So she's like, Dokas, you're gonna come this far and not enter Cyprus. And we're gonna do something about it. Is there immigration office in the airport? I was like, there's no immigration office. What are we gonna do? Like, oh my god. She was like, okay, just wait, maybe there will be something they can do. Maybe they see that you're really persistent, they will like allow you and everything. It's like, anyway, so I waited and I went to like another line, I don't know, help desk or something, that's what it's called. So I went there, I spoke to the lady, I was like, oh, this is what my situation, and she collected my passport. She's like, oh, it's expiring in 4 months. I'm like, is there anything I can do? Like, I'm not going to stay in Cyprus for long, I'm just going for 2 weeks. This is my BRP, I'm from the UK and I'm going to go back there. I'm working there, so there's no way I'll be in Cyprus for up to 4 months. So she's like, okay, I'll call my supervisor. And then she calls the supervisor and she said, I don't know if they were flirting, but she said like she was flirting because she was blushing and then she was laughing and they were speaking Turkish. I felt ignored. I felt like I didn't matter. Like, it's the worst feeling ever. Anyway, so she finished talking. She's like, oh, my supervisor is gonna call me back. Can you just move out of the line, let the next person come? I'm just like, wow. Anyway, so I moved. What's that can happen is I go back to the UK. Will I be sad? Of course. But at this point, I don't know. So anyway, 2 hours later, I went to the lady. In fact, everybody had already closed their aisle. And I went, I was like, oh, I'm still waiting. She's like, oh, yeah, 1 minute, and she goes to my title. She's like, well, there's nothing I can do for you. Take your passport. I'm like, she's like, go back to your country. I'm like, I am Nigerian. I'm not coming from Nigeria. I'm coming from the US. I work in the UK. I can't go back to, like, is this something I can do? She's like, go back to your country and fix your passport. Go back to your country and renew your passport. She just kept saying, go back to your country. The next flight was in 2 hours, so I booked a ticket to go back to the UK. Went on immigration's line, because obviously I'm not a citizen of the UK, so I have to go to immigration. So I went to immigration's line, long immigration's line. So I said my passport, they said what I'm going to the UK for. I said I work in the UK. So then my BRP, they said okay, fine. Okay, I was already panicking a little, because I was like, what if they refuse to allow me to enter the UK to they say, hey, your passport is 4 months? I say, hey, I will not go back to Nigeria truly. I will not truly go back to my country. Hey, God, who sent me? I was doing a romantic getaway because of love. Before I left Istanbul, before I joined the immigration, I called my partner. I was like, guess what? It's like, what? I said, I'm in Istanbul. He's like, are you joking? I'm just joking. I'm not ready for this prank. I'm like, seriously. And now video called him. I showed him the airport. He's like, and then he started laughing. He's a horrible person. He was laughing at me. At this point, I could not even be mad. I was not even mad, honestly. I was just like stunned by the entire situation. I was extremely devastated, extremely sad, because I just really needed that break. I just really needed it. I really needed it. Anyway, it's fine. So got on the flight, got back to London, got to immigrations. They were so nice at immigrations. It was a lady. She was like, hi, how are you doing? Where are you coming from? I was like, I'm coming from Istanbul. Set my passport and I entered, took my luggage. Tried to book a bus to go back to Cornwall. The next bus was in 4 hours, and mind you, it was going to be another 9 to 10 hours trip, and it was going to be late at night this time, so it was going to be longer. So I was in the waiting area for 4 hours. My bus came eventually. I sat on the bus and I couldn't even cry. I really did not have the energy to cry. That's how tired I was. I hadn't eaten properly. I couldn't cry. I got to Cornwall around like 6 a.m. in the morning, so I was going to take the first bus to my house. At this point, I was not really familiar with the bus routes, because I was living very close to the hospital, so I didn't really have a reason to use the buses. I paid for the bus and I entered, right? And then it got to this point where I was supposed to drop. I didn't realize that's where I was supposed to drop. Usually the bus turns around and then drops like really close to my accommodation, so I don't have to like pull my boxes and everything. This bus did not stop. This bus kept going. I didn't know that the bus doesn't turn around until it gets to the end of Cornwall, St. Ives. Guys, the trip, right, from the bus station to St. Ives is like 2.5 hours roughly, and then back again to my house is like an hour and a half. So in totality, I got home around like 10 a.m. in the morning. From 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning. That's when I got home. I was seated on the bus for almost 4 hours. I live on the top floor of my building, and there's no elevator. So I had to still drag my boxes up. I broke my box, by the way. I wasn't even bothered, because I was just like, it can break, because I'm about to break. So if you break, it's money. I'll buy another one. I got to my room. I'd already packed all my things. I'd done laundry before I left. I washed my bed sheets, washed my duvet, washed everything in my house. My house was like empty. I didn't even have groceries in the house, nothing. I got home, I just dropped my box, emptied everything out, went to the shower, had a very long and hot shower, got back to the room, got something warm, and I ordered a lot of food. And I sat down in bed. I never lay my bed, covered my duvet. I ate and I just slept. When I woke up, I went on the Nigerian immigration's website. I booked a date to go and renew my passport. And the next available date was in March. So there was no way I was going to travel. There was no way I was going to travel in that 2 weeks. I was going to be in my room for 2 weeks. That is when I said I cannot come back to YouTube. I was done. Mentally, I was done. Physically, I was beating up at that. I was just like, nah, this is just it. This is what I cannot do. I quit my gym membership, cancelled it, and I just sat in my room for 2 weeks, doing nothing, watching movies, and talking to my friends. But God being so faithful, God being amazing, God being good. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? got a house viewing, guys. I got a house viewing. And if you want to know how that went and how I finally had a break from my disaster of a life, you have to wait for next week and watch the video. Next week I'll probably not leave. I'll probably like do my makeup or something. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.